Good day to all of you who have joined us for another, I think we're calling this Cooking with Brenda, plant-based, vegan, whatever you want to call it, cooking demonstration. Today we're doing something that could be either a lunchtime or a supper time, or, well, you kind of decide. Once you see what I'm making, how I'm doing it, you decide. This is very simple. It's called oat burgers. And when you see how it all goes together and what you do, you're probably going to make it at home. And if you do, please let me know. There will be a link on the YouTube page. There'll be a link on the Facebook page where you can like it, you can make comments, and you can even share it. That would be cool. All right, we're going to start out with stove. And I want to thank Adventist Community Services of South Georgia for the stove, because otherwise I couldn't do stuff like this. A kettle. I'm going to start out with 2 cups of water. While it is heating, I am going to put in some Bragg's amino acids. You can also use soy sauce, but the Bragg's, there's just something about the flavor. It doesn't have as much salt, but it's also amino acids. So it adds some extra to your dietary. So some Bragg's. And the full recipe calls for a 1/2 cup. I'm doing a half batch here. So I'm only going to put in a 1/4 cup. And I didn't bring a small liquid measuring, so that's why the spoon. So there's the Bragg's. Also, nutritional yeast. There are different brands. I think Bragg's is the most common. You can get this at all the department stores. I know you can get it at Walmart, at Publix, and probably the other stores that are close to you. It calls for 1/4 cup, but a 1/2 cup is going to be, half of that will be a 1/2 quarter. So since I just used that for wet, I'm going to fill this just half full. Yeah, good enough. One thing about these recipes, it doesn't have to be exact. And some flax seed. There's my flax seed. It's also available at most any grocery store. And some basil and garlic and onion and sage. It's all kind of mixed together here. Stir it in. Dump it in, whisk it just a little bit so it really shouldn't clump. And some walnuts. Now we're going to just let this cook. It shouldn't take long for it to come to a boil. And it will need to come to a boil. It can't just get warm, because once it starts to boil, we're going to add rolled oats to it. I didn't time it when I was making this previously, so like I said, I hope it doesn't take long. Oh, it's getting warm. It's getting warm. Oh, forgot a little bit of oil. You can use just vegetable oil. Move this out of the way. Here are the oats. 2 cups of oats is what I'm going to use in this one. If you want to make a full batch, it would be 4 cups of oats. The full batch will be what is online on the link for you to follow. I made this recipe last night just so we would have a demonstration when it's already done. And I made 10 patties. So if you make a full batch, you're going to get just about, 20 to 24, depending on how big your patties are. Since this is oat patties, oat burgers. And while this is heating, these make really good sandwiches. And I forgot to bring with me when you're making the patties, if you take the ring off of a canning jar, a wide mouth ring, that makes really great, nice, round, and then, put your batter into, oops, now it's boiling. I'll finish that comment in a minute. So it is boiling, turn it off, take it off the heat, I just about lost my, and stir it up. Now, as you can see, it's kind of runny. So the recipe, the instructions are to let it cool. Once it cools, this is what we have. As it cools, the oats will thicken. So then, once it's cooled, and you can handle it, you can take, I find that these ice cream scoops, or whatever you want to call them, and whatever size you want, works really well for making nice, round, same size. That way there isn't anybody, oh, there's bigger than mine, or whatever. And then once that's done, just pat it down nicely. Now, I have made things like this for church fellowship lunch, and when I do that, I use a smaller one because you know how it is. You go through line and there's big stuff, and it's like, well, I want a little bit of this and a little bit of this. So I use small size scoop to make smaller little patties. Now this is really good with a brown gravy or a tomato sauce, tomato gravy. These are also about the size of a burger bun. So once it's baked, and I'll get to that in just a minute, it's great for lunches. Now there could be a time that you're going, I don't have any, I'm going to be making these, I don't have burger buns. So I'll show you what is kind of fun to do. And you're going, my kids are going to have a fit. We have bread, you know, sliced bread, but we don't have. So put some on here, smash it down, and make it square. Oh, I need just a little bit more. That way, it will fit a loaf of bread. So this one's a little bit more square. These are round for either burger buns or just on the to cook. Now you want to put these in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. Take it out, turn them over, bake it for another 20 minutes. If you're in a big hurry and you want to fry them, that would work fine, but if you want to eliminate the oil and so forth, you can do it in the oven. And our final product looks like this. Yes, I'm handling the food. There's 2 patties, and I added some veggies with it. If I were to do it for a meal, I would probably add a salad with the veggies and the patties, maybe a little bit of gravy on it. And there you go. There is lunch or supper. So like I said, if you decide to make this and you find that it's successful, or you find that it's just a big flop, either way, please let us know by putting some comments and sharing this on your Facebook page. Thank you for joining us today. See you later.